I am really proud of what the team has accomplished on this product in short order, and it feels really nice to be able to share with our partners today. I want to thank you as well for making time to join. What's going to happen today is I'm going to give you a quick tour of our new virtual assessment product and the underlying tech that makes it possible. We'll try to answer a few questions at the end, so do please submit those through the chat feature as we go along. We'll be focused primarily on the residential use cases today, but I think it'll be clear to this audience that there are applications for all of your customer segments, so let your imagination run wild as we go through this. So let's do a quick show before we get into the tell here, and let's see if I can make this happen. Show a quick video, about 40 seconds. We're trying to tell the story of the energy advisor, that energy expert, and the customer connection. And I think Tim alluded to this, but we didn't want, this isn't technology alone, right? It's empowering that human connection, not getting in the way of it. And I want to talk a minute about what we're finding early on in our testing. I'm sort of amazed by the level of interpersonal banter that's happening. And I would characterize the customer experience as active rather than passive. So we go into hundreds of thousands of homes together, right, across the North America. And in many cases, or most cases, the customer will passively allow us in, maybe take off work, wait for us to show up. They'll continue with whatever they were doing while we're going through the home, and then sit, and we'll try to explain to them what we saw, and we'll use pictures to do that and try to convince them that it's true and what they should do about it. I think what we're learning is that this new tool allows an active participation by the homeowner. They're the ones walking through, they're the ones seeing the need and having a discussion with the expert along the way. So it's been kind of eye-opening. We were nervous about sort of what that sort of technological barrier might do, but it's actually opened up nice active engagement. It's important to note that we built in controls for the customer. I think if you start thinking about taking videos in the home, you want to provide that level of control to the customer. And so this solution does embed customer choice and control. They're control every step of the way. So the way this sort of session begins between that energy advisor on our side and the homeowner is that customer is sent a link. They're probably scheduled an appointment through your existing system, a new kind of shorter appointment. They get a link, they click into the link, they choose to agree to the terms and conditions. They can pause video along the way. If they're going through a room that they don't care for you to see, then they can pause the video, they can mute out audio. So they have lots of control points all the way through the engagement. They can allow you to know where they are on the GPS, and it'll get their coordinates and tell you what the nearest address is to that coordinate. And in the end, much like Uber, they'll give you a real-time feedback on just exactly what they thought about that engagement. So I think it's, we understood the level of control that's going to be required for a wide adoption on this. So 2 words I want you to remember from today, in that those are connected expertise. It's about the human connection and connecting our expertise to homeowners in this case. So together, over many years, we've created a wealth of expertise that has now essentially been cut off from our customers, and in any case is becoming more and more costly to deliver to the customer's home. So if you're looking at the image here, you've got an expert sitting at a console, sort of driving the experience, and they're communicating with the homeowner. They're seeing what they see, and now what is a dotted line through this, the magical cloud used to have to be a car or truck roll to get to that home. and engage them. So this is a new platform, right? Brand new tech that's connecting us in a brand new way and allowing the next generation of energy advisors to deliver value to the customers without making that sort of physical journey. So let's dig into the functionality a bit more. Some of the things that you were seeing in the video, there's remote measurements. So it's using spatial mapping technology, and it can create a 3D model of the customer's living space. I think sort of the more applicable function there is that we can measure things. So we want to know, will this heat pump water heater fit in that sort of old water heater space? Then we can measure that virtually and know the answer to that. The OCR, optical character recognition, can capture serial numbers, model numbers, SEER ratings on an HVAC, tag. So there are things we can gather and validate remotely. The object recognition, so like it will know if it's a smart thermostat or not. You can imagine from there, like if you needed help installing it, it would know which device that was, and it's a 3-wire, so we could add support to DIY type applications for installing a thermostat, for instance. So let's talk about some of the tools that are part of that product that the advisor uses to guide the homeowner. So the laser pointer, you can actually point to things in the customer's world and guide them to where you want them to go. And I don't know about you guys, but anytime you can use a laser, it's pretty cool. But virtual lasers, that's a whole new world. That's pretty exciting. And then the quick draw, you want to just circle something, say, hey, on this HVAC, circle it, virtually, and say, can you go take a picture of that so that I can capture it with the OCR? And then the stream shot piece is pretty cool. So if you're going through, as you're guiding the homeowner through and they're on their device and you're seeing what they're seeing through the device, you can say, hey, let's take a picture of that name tag or the model number of your appliance or whatever that is, or the insulation levels in your attic. You let them know that picture is going to be taken. It's capturing or embedded with depth and scale, so that you have that in your records now to do analysis on. And so I don't know, it's really cool. It's fun to play with and to have that and go back and sort of dissect what you've gathered. The location tracking certainly is going to be relevant on the assessment side, but for assurance, knowing where a contractor is if you're doing some validation or doing an inspection, validating where they are. Then the automatic call logging. So if you have a record of that full session that you had, I mean, that's assurance in itself. It's great for sort of EMV situations. It's an amazing tool for QA of our own teams. It's a great learning and training tool for continuous improvement, right? You get to see every step of the way and train on that. The point of this slide is to just drive home the point that this isn't us trying to simply calling up customers on FaceTime. This is pretty deep technology, and we believe this level of technology is required to truly engage the customers in a meaningful way. And it also allows you to drive, and guide and capture and count savings. We will know that it's real. Outside of the technology, there are some other sort of value props to the product that I want to talk about. They're important to us, they're meaningful to us, and more than likely they're going to be important to you as well. So if you think about applying this product application to your operations, from a labor perspective, there's just more customer or stakeholder engagements per labor hour. From a production standpoint, getting people field ready is quite a process. It can take, months sometimes to get somebody fully independent in the field. And I think having sort of that virtual assist or support or supervision reduces that training time and sort of cuts down on that remote shadowing that we typically have to do in the field. Safety, we drive millions of miles in the service of these programs, and I think that alone, reducing some of those miles driven and the infield hazards that we navigate, has a positive safety impact. It's because we're not driving so many miles that we have a drive down the greenhouse gas production there. And then it's differentiated. It's as a product, but it also differentiates, I think, you as a client, and just sort of showing your customers that you're taking an innovative approach in response to the changing conditions, certainly under the current conditions. And then I think it's differentiated in, like, it's as close to getting instant feedback as you're going to get. You're going to know on a daily basis or hourly basis, real time, that last appointment went great, they loved it, or it didn't, and you can take action on that. And again, it's just that continuous improvement or rapid response. So I'm going to just move over just very, very briefly to virtual assurance from the assessment, because essentially it's taking the same technology interface, and with it, we can add tremendous value to the QA, QC, and inspection process, and our relationships with our trade ally partners in general. I'm telling you, contractors are going to love this. If you think about it, no extra trips to meet inspectors. They can have in-progress check-ins to stay aligned, real-time guidance and support for new techs, and the list goes on here. So I won't go back through all the functionality, because that sort of is the same, but we're applying it on the assurance side in a different way. I think this is going to be really impactful. I think, like Tim said, the time is now for products like virtual assessments and assurance. We are sure that they're going to add value for all stakeholders. Just the choice, the control, the convenience is going to make a difference. And thanks for making time, like, to know that we are poised to accelerate our learning and applications of the technology with you when you're ready, when it makes sense. And I want to thank everyone for allowing us to share where we are in our development.